Hello. So I've just been scrolling through the BBC website and they've got an interesting article at the bottom of the page that talks about the difficulties with lack of human touch and being able to have physical contact during this lockdown situation. And I thought it was really interesting because actually, it's something that we so take for granted, is so ingrained in us and is so important to us. That being able to touch people, hug people, even just putting your hand on someone's shoulder in a reassuring way is so important and so vital to us as humans. And not being able to do that can be really hard. I mean, I'm not a massively tactile person, but even I, have noticed a complete lack of any contact, and it's difficult. And actually, I think, there's been a number of people talking about how our current sort of isolation, being stuck in a small space, not being able to get out, not being able to move around, hang out with your friends, that kind of thing, compares to horses being kept stabled a lot of the time and on box rest. But this kind of contact touch thing is actually also incredibly important to horses. A lot of their bonding is done through touch. Our horses are always mutually grooming, standing together. They'll kind of hang out in pairs and go to sleep together. The kind of closeness and intimacy and touch is so important to horses for their mental well-being and for bonding with each other, and for managing their stress levels and forming those strong herd dynamics. So I think that for me is another really interesting comparator for the way that we're having to deal with things now. And hopefully it will perhaps give people the opportunity to think that if we're keeping horses segregated in stables where they can perhaps see other horses but can't actually touch them, can't mutually groom, can't lean their heads against each other, can't stand together, we then put them in a little separate individual paddocks because we don't want them to kick each other and hurt each other. But we're actually at the same time, therefore, really not allowing them to express those basic needs. And seeing the horses that come into my track that have been kept more in that way, and the way that they become much more relaxed, and so obviously enjoy that inter-horse touch, inter-horse contact. I think it's really important that we take that on board too. So I really hope that this gives people an opportunity to think. Horses are not humans, humans are not horses, but touch is very, very important to both our species. So yeah, when this all shakes down and things return to normal and we're kind of thinking ahead and thinking of the ways to look after our horses, it's yet another one of those ways where we need to really respect their innate needs and behaviours within our own domestic environment. Strip away the complexity, keep it simple, recognise what they need naturally, and a lot of your problems go away. Again, a little bit of food for thought, guys. Have a lovely evening.